How is everybody this morning? I am Kimberly Cordova, founder of Thrive Collective, and we are on day 3 of our Get Ready With Me Live. And I don't know if it's getting any easier, but here we are. Today's Get Ready With Me is about building confidence in your unique leadership style. Anyways, confidence is definitely not something you are born with. It's built one step at a time. And so here is another step for me. Let's get into it. When I started leading teams, I thought I had to be the loudest, most outgoing person in the room. I was wrong. I tried to copy other leaders, but it always felt off for me. And honestly didn't land results. And I had a mentor tell me that the best leaders are not always copies. They're original. That your style is actually your edge. You needed to find your way. So I learned that my strength is actually creating safe spaces for ideas. So even if I'm not the loudest, my strength in being a leader was creating safe spaces for others and allowing others to bring their ideas to the table. And once I embraced that, and it didn't happen overnight, it actually took me quite a few years to figure that out. But once I embraced that, my teams became more engaging and more creative, which actually is very important because I was a leader in IT spaces and software development, and you want creative teams in that world. And what I've learned is that self-awareness is key, and reflecting on what you do well and what energizes you became very important to reflect on that. And I think I mentioned this yesterday, to ask for feedback. Because others often see your strengths more clearly than you do. So ask for that feedback. Ask others what they feel your strengths are, because they're going to see them maybe a little bit more than you do. And you can maybe get a little bit more clarity. I think if you ask others that you work closely with for your strengths and ask them for some honest feedback, I think they'll give it to you. And you can practice some self-affirmation as well. And I think I mentioned this in one of my earlier videos as well, that I keep reminders of my strength and positive feedback. So I can practice some self-affirmation that I can give to myself on a regular basis, because that's not always easy for us to do for ourselves, especially as women. We're very critical of ourselves. So it's important for us to spend some time practicing the positive and not always being negative to ourselves. Keep those reminders, because I think especially when we have bad days and maybe something doesn't go exactly how we've wanted it to, maybe we had a bad meeting or something bad happened with a client, or maybe a leadership meeting, or maybe you had to give bad feedback to somebody who reports into you, because honestly, sometimes things don't go well. And sometimes you have to have a critical conversation, or maybe things just a day didn't go as you wanted it to, because we're not perfect. We have to remind ourselves that all days aren't bad days, and we've had good days. And so go back and do some positive self-reflection and self-affirmation and remind us that we do have positive things and we did have great days, and remind ourselves of our strengths. Okay, so always do write down the good days and inventory your strengths. And when you have the good days, write them down. So when you have the bad days, you can look back on the good days. Okay, celebrate your wins. We talked about that the other day. Right? Celebrate the good times. Celebrate the progress. Don't wait for somebody else to notice your impact. Acknowledge what went well. Because you're not always going to get that pat on the back from somebody else. Sometimes you have to pat your own back. And that's okay. It's okay to celebrate yourself. You don't always need somebody else to do that for you. And you know what else you can do? Embrace your quirks. There are things that make you different. And the things that make you different, those are your greatest assets. It's okay to be quirky. It's okay to be different. Because that's what helps you stand out. So embrace those quirks. I know I'm quirky and weird. And I thought about myself. I make myself laugh all the time. Laugh at myself. Laugh with myself. I'm sure other people laugh at me. So might as well laugh at myself first. Always keep learning. Keep stretching yourself. Because that's when your confidence grows. When you continue to stretch yourself, that's when you gain more confidence. Because you've pushed yourself past that point of comfort. When you live in that place of comfort and complacency, that's when you've stretched yourself and it feels good, right? When you've pushed yourself past that point of living in that everyday, when you live in that place of comfort and you've pushed yourself past that and you did something that was uncomfortable and you get past it, you're like, oh, I did it. And that felt good because I've learned something new and I stretched myself and by golly, I was good at it. And I survived it. And it felt good. It felt really good to go somewhere different because I feel stronger and I feel like I grew a little bit and it felt good. Yeah. I like it when I feel that way. Another personal story I'll share with you today is in my career, I have to go through a lot of workshops, especially when I'm in that corporate America zone. I'm sure a lot of you are there. They like to send you to workshops a lot. They like that continuing education. They like to feel like they're helping you grow. And that's nice. It's really nice when they invest in their resources. It's great when they put their money where their mouth is. And I was always nervous about not being excited enough in those workshops. I'd sit in the background and I'd learn and I would just sit there and I'd learn and I'd absorb and I'd quietly participate. And I was not like jumping in and have this really excited energy. And I was always nervous. I was nervous that I wasn't being excited enough in those workshops, that I was just kind of quietly observing and learning. But I then learned that participants valued my calm energy and the clarity that I brought. And that kind of helped me own my style, that I brought this calming energy and clarity into those situations. And I never thought of it that way until I got feedback from others. I always thought that, am I bringing the room down, or was I not excited enough, or did people think I wasn't enjoying the sessions? And my takeaway from those sessions was completely different than other people's takeaway. And here I thought people thought something different of me than they really did. And in fact, people valued what I brought to those sessions. So it goes to show that we're a lot harsher on ourselves. And what people think of us is really not what we think they think of us. So here's some reflection prompts for you. to think about today. 1, think about this. What's one leadership trait you actually admire in yourself? Because I think a lot of times we think about what do we do as a leader that we beat ourselves up about. So instead of that, let's flip the script a little bit. What do we admire about ourselves as a leader? And here's another one. When have you felt most in your zone as a leader? Everybody has a zone when they feel really good. When do you feel most in your zone as a leader? And that could be leadership as a parent, a mom, a dad, a grandparent. When do you feel most in your zone? Could be as a peer leader. It doesn't have to be as a leader of a team. It could, like I said, be a peer leader. When do you feel most in your zone? When you're leading somebody, it could be leading a group at church, could be leading a group of, recreation team. And then here's another reflection prompt for you for today. What is a compliment you've received that you tend to downplay? I think we all do this a lot, especially us as women. I know I have for a huge majority of my adult life to downplay compliments a lot. I've always found it very hard to receive compliments. I don't know about you. If you are, DM me and let me know. I have a hard time taking compliments. Do you have a hard time taking compliments? It's always been very awkward for me ever since I was younger. My mother gives me compliments, that's hard for me to take. When my husband gives me compliments, that's hard for me to take. Even when friends give me compliments, those are hard for me to take. Co-workers give me compliments. And I think that what we talked about yesterday, the imposter syndrome, I think that's why. Because we always feel like we're not worthy. Not always, but I think that's a bit of a stretch. But many times we have that, am I worthy of this? So DM me. Think about it and DM me. Let's talk about that, because I think that's definitely a reflection worthy of talking about. What's a compliment you've received that you tend to downplay? It could be one, it could be many. And let's talk about that. I think that's definitely a reflection worthy of discussion. And it's one that in our CILP program, we do help you clarify your leadership style quite a bit and build confidence from the inside out. We give a lot of practical tools, feedback, and we're building an amazing community that celebrates your growth. So if you're ready to step into your strengths, I do encourage you to check out CILP. You can check it out via our website. There's a link in the bio, thrivecollectivehq.com will get you there as well. So let me give you another journal prompt for today. If you journal or just reflect on it, what's one thing that you did differently from others that you are proud of? We talked about it a little, because it's good to be different. And you should be proud of being different, and it's okay to be different. You should be proud of it. And also remember that your difference is your edge. I'm proud that you're different. I'm proud that I'm different. And your book for today, if you're interested in another book recommendation, is Dare to Lead by Brene Brown. It's a great book. And your leadership style is your superpower. So please embrace it, let it shine. And again, if you want some support, check out our CILP or DM me anytime. I am super happy to talk to you, exchange thoughts with you, and I appreciate you each and every day. So thank you so much. Bye-bye. See you tomorrow.